Baby bass pattern, you got largemouth bass pattern. It's been around for a long time. It's like I remember back when Bagley made like a bait called the small fry back in the early 80s. One of the first color patterns they had was a bass pattern, and bass patterns have been available to anglers for a long time, but they've never really caught on. Here's the thing about it. It's like, how many tournaments have you heard getting won on, or people saying, I caught them on this bass pattern lure? You don't hear many people talking about it because not many people use it. But there is a situation when a bass pattern color will outproduce any other color, and I want to talk about it in today's video because it has a very specific set of conditions for this to work. Now, one of the things about lure colors that you're going to find out, it's a complex topic when you're talking about lure colors, because you've got some foundational elements as far as certain lures will produce under certain situations. And then you got to add to that variable the fact that bass don't listen to that. They're going to do what they want to do. They're opportunistic. And you may say, like, well, a blackback chartreuse colored crankbait's good in dirty water. And then you may find a shad pattern outproduces that in dirty water. So there's always exceptions to the rule, but you have to begin somewhere. And in my experience, there are definite trends in terms of specific colors that work better in specific situations. Not every time, but more than not. It's like over 50% of the time. So bass pattern is one of those. Now let me talk a little bit about when a bass pattern works good. A bass pattern has nothing to do with the bass feeding on baby bass, or it's not like you use a baby bass pattern in the springtime of the year when the bass have just hatched out and a lot of little bass fry swimming around like that, they're feeding on bass fry. That's not when and why bass bite a bass pattern. The bass pattern, like anything else, you can't look at it as a resembling anything else. You can't look at it as like a threadfin shad resembling a threadfin shad, or a crawdad pattern resembling a crawdad. That's not how bass see it. They're not stupid. They know it's not real. You're tricking them into bite, when you're trying to duplicate a lure. But the thing that does make a difference is the specific colors in the lure in relationship to the water clarity and the light intensity. Water clarity and light intensity, and also the tint of the watercolor, it determines how a lure looks in the water. And if you guys have followed my channel a lot, you hear me talk about the glow that a lure puts out, and how a lure needs to blend in a little bit and it needs to stand out a little bit. And this is a complex thing because unless you're in the boat with me and I can actually show you, it's hard to explain. But as far as a bass pattern, when it has that glow in the water,